Good. Okay, hi. Good to see you again. I'm very glad to. I'm actually back here in this room. We were talking before about my little adventures trying to get home from New Jersey, the 2-day trip that turned into a 4-day trip, and trying to fly out through severe thunderstorms, flash floods, and then United Airlines did some really great. We came down to on Sunday night. I'm starting to say what was supposed to be a 6 p.m. flight, and then they had this much. Oh, the air conditioning wasn't working. The auxiliary engine that drives the AC wasn't working, so they had to fix that, and they couldn't get that fixed, and it was over 100 degrees in the cabin, so they couldn't load us on. So they got some kind of giant tube suck thing to suck the hot air out and load us on, so it was like a mere 95 degrees or something. And then another problem. We sat there for a couple hours. Then they took us all off, and then hours went by, and then they had to get and we're finally getting back on the plane, and it's 11 something, and we knew we had to get on really fast, and everyone had to file on very efficiently, or the crew would time out. Right? And so we're all ready to get on, but they go, oh no, first we have to load the food from the caterer because all the food got spoiled in the heat. We're all going, it's midnight, we've eaten, we just want to get home, we don't need no stinking food, we're going to sleep. But it's the rules and regs, so they're loading the food on. So finally, okay, and everyone just files it really efficiently, and then we're heading we're in line, and it ticks like 1 minute past where the crew times out. I go, sorry, we got to go back. So it's now like 1:30 in the morning, and then as I was starting to tell you, they tell people, okay, we'll give you vouchers for hotels, but all these, however many people get on one of those big jets, are now lined up with one customer service agent, to give them their vouchers, write their hotel vouchers. So it's clearly a line 2-3 hours long. So it was very exciting. But here was the interesting part. Here's where's the, aside from this just being fun gossip and tales of woe, where's the Dharma teaching here? What I experienced, and you've probably experienced this yourselves, you can probably all think of situations like this where there's pressure, or there's people getting angry, or people, circumstances spiraling out of control and so forth. It's the revenge of the airline. And have you noticed, compared with the way you used to be in those situations, that I see heads nodding. What do you notice? What's different?
I actually go, oh good, I haven't finished this book or this writing, so I
Right.
always have stuff with me,
Right.
so I feel like I'm more at peace. It
Right.
doesn't stress me out like it used to.
Right. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, because Beth, you're the one who was telling me you've been watching the sessions on YouTube and wanting the people in the group to talk louder so the mic will pick them up.
Yes.
So everyone speak up a little bit. So finding yourself more at peace, more read the book, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, oh good, da-da-da-da.
Okay.
And then, as my husband says, you're a people person. I always meet people,
Mhm.
and if there's always some kind of interesting connection,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because we are all one,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. And other people notice. Yeah.
I'm more accepting of the situation.
Speak up. Speak up for the
I'm more
mic.
accepting of the situation
Uh-huh.
because I can't do anything to change it.
Yeah.
And so I just sort of sit there and try to be calm and think,
Yeah.
Like, if this is the worst thing that's going to happen to me, I'm lucky. That's pretty much my motto in life.
Right.
is I've
Right.
had some bad stuff happen, so
Yeah.
it's like, hey, this is nothing.
Yeah.
This isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
The end of the world's the end of the world.
Right. Right.
And then
Yeah.
I'm so lucky I'm not that person at the desk with everyone's yelling.
Right. Right. As a matter of fact, well, another aspect of this that you may notice is that sometimes other people will pick up on it. They'll notice, gee, how come other people in the room are getting angry or getting afraid or whatever, and there's this one person sitting there that's really chill. And you notice it gets clearer and clearer, I find, that it's not that, oh, I've got some special superpower, some special ding, purple flames shooting out of my crown chakra or something that other people don't have. But in fact, it's the opposite. I've got empty space where other people have all these stories and all this grinding of gears, all this trying to do the impossible, trying to change what can't be changed. And people see that. They go, they can feel that either overtly, it was very overt on this plane because my two seatmates, one was a guy who sells Porsches and the other was this woman who's an attorney and a law professor, and we had both become great friends through this whole ordeal, and so they knew what I did. I teach meditation, I write books about this stuff, and they kept going, "You're so cooled out through this thing." So you wind up,
Getting new planes.
you wind up being a good advertisement for this stuff. Whether or not an individual ever sits down and picks up one of these books or comes to one of these sessions or whatever, just the fact that someone has modeled for them that it's possible to be that way. That, it's kind of like when you dance with a really good partner.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed that? And they up your game. They kind of like, oh, I didn't know I knew how to do this, and they kind of show you where the space is, where the moves are, where the grace is, and where the fun is, something like that. You show them where the coolness is, where the silence is, not necessarily by saying anything, but it's like, oh yeah, there's the space is there to be like that, and it's available to everyone. And some people are not going. The guy sitting behind me was just. Such an example. He was such a shining example of the second noble truth. How we create our own suffering. He just was making everything 5 times worse. And when finally they made this final announcement that we're not getting out, he just exploded. He went, "Fuck you!" And he just screamed through. And then when we filed off the plane, and they had an agent there at the little counter next to where we were coming off, and just boom, and he's standing there screaming at her, cursing at her like it was all her fault, and I actually called him out on it. I said, "Hey, you're not helping things. You're making it personal. It's not this woman's fault." And he stopped. And normally I don't get in people's faces, but sometimes it's time to do something or say something.
It was nice of him to provide the entertainment.
Yes, yeah, nice of him to provide the entertainment. Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
mean, so-
and in fact, it is nice if that we have all these people teaching us what not to do, right? Modeling. We have all these, just as you're there. And again, not without necessarily trying, just by virtue of the months or years of practice and insight that you've been developing, you're modeling that cooled out space for people. You have people all around you modeling how not to do it, showing you how to multiply your suffering. And you go, oh, that doesn't look like fun. Don't do that. So, and I really make it a point sometimes to just kind of silently, gee, thank you for suffering so I don't have to. Better luck next time around. But yeah, Fudin?
Oh, just similar to your thing, like just here on shopping line, long line, and then everybody was impatient, and then they had to change people, and so
Right.
everybody's groaning. So the person next to me, like I said, I guess it's time to practice patience, like being a good spiritual warrior. Ha ha ha. And the guy picked up on it, and then the guy like 3 up ahead. It just spread. It almost like it gave it permission to, hey, you can be cool about this.
Yeah.
There's only one way to, but
Right.
there's many ways to handle this.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 2 main ways to handle it are to increase your suffering or decrease your suffering. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And we've all had plenty of experience doing both. Or at least we've all had plenty of experience increasing our suffering. And at least a little bit of experience decreasing it. So, it always goes back to the old joke. Doctor, it hurts when I do like this. Don't do like that. So, let's sit comfortably. Evidently, people were sitting uncomfortably for some mysterious reason. Oh, let me say this right now before I forget. Day-long retreat coming up. Did everyone got the mailing about it? Have you checked your email? Don't look at me. Right.
When did you send?
I sent it out a few days ago. Check and let me know if you didn't get it. You should.
I got it.
Yeah, he got it. Some people have. So it's Sunday, August 25th, I believe it is. So it's a day-long retreat, as usual, from 10:30 to 5:30. As usual, we'll be doing lots of guided meditation sessions together, and our topic this time is going to be the poetry of enlightenment. So we're going to be doing Blake and Whitman and Emily Dickinson and Rumi and Kabir and Billy Collins, and it's really going to be. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be big fun. Some of you been using those Tibetan seed syllables that we were playing with last time? Doing those at home? Yeah, you like that?
I used them like going from the first to the second to the third, all in one.
In one breath. Yeah, let's do it that way tonight. Okay, so the 3 seed syllables in Vajrayana practice or Tibetan practice are Om Hum. And that last sound is the nasalization, like in the French word bon, bon, bon. So, yeah. So, so we'll do all 3 on a breath, and if some people are going longer on a breath than you are, don't worry about it. Just wait for the next one. Okay. In other words, we're all starting together on each one. Okay. So deep breath in, and wait a second. Just a reminder, refresher, that when you breathe in, really have the feeling of opening up the ribs and filling up the whole tank here, filling it up 3-dimensionally, so that the ribs are separating this way, and the front and the back of the body are separating this way, and the top and the bottom of the spine are separating this way. So you're like a big balloon blowing up. And then when you breathe out with the sound all the way out, and at the end keep going past where you normally would, so that you're pulling in your abs and really just squeezing out the end of the air there. Not straining, but just really, in a really satisfying way, filling up, and then on the sound, really emptying out. So, filling up. So, nothing to do. Just remain as you are. Really nothing to do. Really just remain as you are. Anytime you start to have the thought, oh, but shouldn't maybe I? No, you shouldn't. Oh, but maybe I should? Nah, you shouldn't. Let's shrug it all off. We're already present. We're already aware. There's no improving on that. Just remain in that present awareness. And to remain where you already are, what do you have to do? Nothing. You have no choice. So it's just just recognizing, just acknowledging that we have no choice. Here we are. Giving up on the project of trying to improve the present moment. It's always too late to change the present moment. We're always one moment too late. It's just like being on that airplane. We can keep trying to change what can't be changed, or we can just give up, surrender, gratefully realize that there is nothing we can do. So we kick back and bask in this awareness. Just melt into this presence, which is always right here. All the experiences, all the phenomena that come and go within this present awareness, the sounds of the traffic, or the fountain, or the neighbors, the airplanes. Great, they come and go. Within this awareness, within this presence. Perfect. And in the same way, sensations can come and go. Thoughts come and go, feelings come and go. And it all comes and goes like objects moving through space. None of them injure the space or diminish the space or improve the space. Space is space. Space doesn't say, I like the sound of the fountain better than the sound of the helicopter or whatever it is. Everything passes through space frictionlessly. So just notice that this awareness is just like that, just like space. And remain as that, as you already are. So if you find yourself making any kind of effort, trying to do something, that's something you don't have to do. That's some task that you've imagined needs to be done. You just let that go. And relax back into yourself, into this open, free, empty awareness. Again and again, just relaxing back into yourself, like space. There's no focus. There's no goal. There's no method for achieving a goal. Empty space doesn't have a focus, doesn't have goals or methods, just is. An empty space is not disturbed by the comings and goings of any of the experiences that come and go within it. It just is. Just resting as open space-like awareness, which you already are. That simple. Just giving up to that simplicity. Now, when I ring the bell for the end of the meditation, is there something you're doing now that you're going to stop doing? Is there some little bit of, revving the meditation engine or something that you're doing to feel like you're meditating? And when you hear the bell, you're going to, okay, now I can stop doing that. Even subtly. Just take a look. And if so, stop doing it now. Drop that little attempt to meditate. Drop it now. Just throw it into the fire. Throw everything into the fire. And just hang out in the space that remains, which needs no help from you. There is no meditating. There's only being. And you're always already being. And your only two choices are to surrender into that or try to construct some alternative something. But that's a lot of work. So much more delicious to surrender into this beingness, which is always right here. So keep the eyes closed and take a couple of minutes to gently bring the body back to a more active state. Like waking up from a nice long nap. And after a couple of minutes, when the body feels ready, you can slowly open the eyes.